and welcome to Pluribus Unums Fireside Chats. Not as good as any ours, but hey, it's something. This is going to be the last video before Election Day. As such, we're going to do the Election Day tradition of making predictions on who we think is going to win. But before we get into that, let's get right into the news. First, we're going to talk about a weird story. A Trump-supporting write-in candidate declares herself governor of Ohio after discussing plot to kidnap Mark DeWine. A woman who ran as a write-in candidate against Ohio Governor Mark DeWine has unlawfully declared herself governor of the state and has been implicated in a plot to kidnap and persecute Mark DeWine, the incoming governor. Renee Turner, who ran against Mr. DeWine as a write-in candidate in 2018, posted a video on her Facebook page on Thursday in which she places her hand on the Bible and proclaims herself the governor of Ohio. Ohio is free from Tyrannosaurus leadership, she wrote in a Facebook post following the stunt. The day after she posted the video, Mrs. Turner met with an individual who claimed she pictured them a plot to place Governor DeWine under house arrest. Okay, so this story will tie into another story that I'm going to get into, which is probably going to be very disturbing. Now that just sounds like a funny crazy person. Like, haha, this crazy person is pretty hilarious. She makes funny joke about trying to kidnap governor, haha. But remember, this came after some group of ANCAPs or whatever tried to kidnap the governor of Michigan. Not Michigan. Yes, Michigan. I think Michigan. Whatever. And here's another story. This white extremist patriot front is preparing for a world without Donald Trump. BuzzFeed News has basically found a bunch of white supremacist Facebook groups and went to a secret, encrypted group chat where they discuss grandiose goals of creating a white ethno-state from the U.S., where pretty much how they were going to try and push their white supremacy, thanks to Donald Trump's, whole Southern strategy to the T, they're gonna try and push to, get all these young folks to go from, oh, I'm just a Trump conservative, and such, to full-on white supremacists. And it's pretty fucked up. You see, the thing was, Trump was never the fascist. He was the door. Fascism was just on the other side of the door. He was the door. You can't go from fascism. Vosh said this in a video of his. He's like, America's institutions are just built so well that there's literally no way there could be a fascist or socialist takeover of the United States. And I guess, we haven't seen a socialist or fascist takeover in the U.S. thus far. So, they're doing something right. Pushing a bunch of their intelligence agencies and such, but they're doing something. If the U.S. were to do any of that, it'd have to be through a soft coup. That would just be the only way. It has to always be a soft coup. They can't do a military coup. Probably couldn't happen in the U.S. It would be a soft coup, pretty much. In order to get socialism, all the socialists are going to have to vote for, social democrats. And if a fascist wants to take over the United States, they have to elect, Republicans. But anyway, speaking of fascism taking over the United States, Amy Coney Barrett confirmed the court. Yeah. Amy Coney Barrett has been confirmed to the Supreme Court. I have no clue what the plan is. I've been hearing Democrats say oh, we're so mad at this. But I have yet to hear what the actual plan is to move forward. And spoiler alert for the last part of the episode, Democrats are expected to win big. So, what's the plan? We've been hearing some folks come up with a plan. For example, Ed Markey, he was let's do cord packing. A bunch of the left has been saying, let's do cord packing. I've been skeptical about it, but at this point, do whatever. I don't know. You're given a shit sandwich. I don't know. Add Parmesan to it, I guess. Make the best of a bad situation, I guess. That's how it is at this point for most of the left. In the US, at least. In other countries, it's going great, but US, you gotta make the best of a bad situation. Like, if Brian wins, you're gonna have to do what you can. Speaking of which, more kind of good news about the Congressional Progressives. They're revamping the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Even the Progressive Caucus has fully admitted that the term progressive has gained notoriety and kind of been tainted. Like, remember, not that long ago, AOC wanted to form a sub-caucus that would be a left wing of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. But that didn't end up happening. And the Progressive Caucus's rules are pretty simple. Simply pay $4,000 a year, and then you are part of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. You get to have the label, but you don't get to have the rules. And basically, they stated they have some reforms in mind where they would be streamlining the process, like tightening the grip. First, one of the bigger things is they're getting rid of the 2 co-chairs. So originally it was like Mark Buchanan and Pramila Jayapal at this moment is the 2 co-chairs. But now Mark Buchanan pretty much said, yeah, this ain't going to be a thing anymore. I'm not a co-chair anymore. I've suspended the co-chair ability, and I'm not going to be the co-chair. It's going to be Pramila. And another thing is that they've made plans that now they're going to try and make the CPC vote as a block. Because the thing is, since the Congressional Progressive Caucus can include people from, you have Roe, and you have AOC, and you have Pramila, and you have Raul, and then you have John Yarmouth, Earl Blumenauer, and Hakeem Jeffries, and Alma Adams. And, I don't know, some people who are literally, New Dems also say, they'll all vote separately on a bill, but now they're making a rule so that now if the Congressional Progressive Caucus has 2/3, they'll have a private vote where they'll all vote on how they agree on this bill, and if 2/3 of the members vote yes on this certain bill, they'll move forward and they'll all vote for the bill, even if they own individual members have a personal disagreement with the bill. But here's the thing. This is the big thing that many people have been seeing. The CPC has openly admitted that a lot of these reforms may lead to many of the members quitting the caucus. Now you might say, how is it a good thing? Because you know what that means? It's a signal that they are going to kick out the non-progressives. Hakeem is not going to be a member of the caucus anymore. I guarantee you. Literally. I am very clear in saying, literally, you can have all of the people on my website as a member of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, and everyone else cannot be a member of the caucus if you want. I would love if the furthest right people in this Congressional Progressive Caucus were Earl Blumenauer and John Yarmouth. Those 2 are just libs. Who cares? If they're the furthest left the caucus gets, cool. We don't need your Hakeem Jeffries or your Katie Hills or whoever else. We don't need them. And that would probably end my membership list, would probably give them enough members to form a block. That would probably give them 20 members, which in a Democratic-held House, I guess that would be probably good. Okay, maybe they might have to be a little more lenient. Maybe you'd have to include someone who's the guy? I don't remember. He was big, morbidly obese, and now he's, Gerald Nadler, that's who I'm thinking of. Include folks like him, I can live with him, or live without him, I don't care. But this is a good sign. It's 100% a good sign, and this gives me a bit more hope. Again, if I had faith that Joe Biden could be pushed, I would have voted for him. But these guys are more than welcome to prove me wrong. They're more than welcome to prove me wrong. Okay, anyways, now moving on to the next story. Coming from all the way across the ocean, UK's Labour Party suspends former leader Jeremy Corbyn after anti-Semitism report. Britain's main opposition Labour Party has suspended its former leader Jeremy Corbyn in a stunning development that followed the release of a damning report by the UK's human rights watchdog. The Equality and Human Rights Commission on Thursday identified serious failings with how Labour dealt with anti-Semitism in the party during Corbyn's time as leader. Corbyn responded to the report by saying that while he condemned anti-Semites, the scale of the problem under his leadership has been dramatically overstated for political reasons. Those comments drew a swift and dramatic response from the party. In light of Corbyn's comments made today and his failure to retract them subsequently, the Labour Party has suspended Jeremy Corbyn pending investigation. He has also had the whip removed from the Parliamentary Labour Party, the party spokesperson said. Literally the best thing to happen to the Labour Party in the most recent years is gone. Now, here's the thing. I'll say this before, I'll say it again, I'll say it a million times until I'm proven otherwise. Jeremy Corbyn is not an anti-Semite. Is not an anti-Semite. Keir Starmer is literally going to kill Labour. He's 100% going to kill Labour. Labour is dying. It was dying before him, but he is sure as hell like Corbyn wanted. I'm going to describe it like this. Tony Blair stabbed Labour and Labour started bleeding out. Corbyn was like, okay guys, now let me just remove the knife slowly and get some paper towels ready to plug the hole in the wound, and then maybe we can... Keir Starmer just walks in and be like, no, we must pull the knife out now. And now it's bleeding to death. And then despite everybody's suggestions, he's still like saying, no, we can't, it's gonna let the bad blood come out or something like that. I don't know, I don't know what the scenario I was trying to give with. But basically, Keir Starmer is a failure. Like, the polling that has been done from the UK Labour Party that was like, oh, we need to go to, like, maybe with Keir Starmer being a more centrist guy will win. The numbers of Labour are going down. Labour is going harder down. It's failing. I have no clue where the UK left is going to go at this point. Now, here's the biggest thing. Like, many people might say, well, I mean, Jeremy Corbyn, you have to acknowledge that, I mean, he's an anti-Semite. No. Keir Starmer, when he was saying, oh, Jeremy Corbyn's an anti-Semite, one of his buddies was posting a quote from a parliamentary woman who literally said that she admired Hitler for trying to solve the Jew problem. Meanwhile, Boris Johnson has written a book where he literally claims that Jews are running the world, and during the election campaigns, he was explicitly telling party members, go after the Muslims, go after them. We need to run against them to show we need a boogeyman. Like, but Corbyn's the anti-Semite because... Am I willing to acknowledge there's an anti-Semitism problem on the left? No shit. But Corbyn is 100% not it. Literally just, he is not it at all. I really do not get it. I mean, I do get it. He criticizes Israel, therefore he's evil and bad and we need to stop him. But like I said, I literally have no clue where the English left is going to go. Labour is clearly failing, which sucks because it was good. Clement Attlee was lit. Now I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to try and make the Workers' Party of the UK work? Are they going to make it so that the Green Party of England and Wales becomes viable? Are the SNP going to reign supreme? I don't know. English left, they're in a worse position than the US is. Really, all things considered. Okay, so now that we got all that out of the way, that's time for me to do the thing that everybody's been dreading. This episode is going to be the final episode of the podcast, at least until 2024, where we will do the smaller presidential candidate of the day. It was a long time coming, but here we go. The final small candidate of the day is Richard Duncan. Richard Duncan is a perennial candidate. He is 67 years old and he is running for president in 2020. He ran for president in 2016 and wants to thank all of the voters for his 24,507 votes, which ranked him 9th in the nation. He is an independent candidate and ran on a $5,000 budget. He tried to do a lot of good things. The way his website is formatted makes it really hard to read his platform. So he tries to do a promulgate this jobs legislation. Let's see, the power to create these zones in the US, I have no clue. I will give one nice anecdote about Richard Duncan. Richard Duncan, he's from Ohio, and he's made a field day of himself running in Ohio and, being an Ohio perennial candidate. But this election cycle is different. He will not be on the ballot in Ohio this year. Why, you may ask? Well, he gave his ballot line away to Howie Hawkins of the Green Party, which is pretty commendable, all things considered. I would give him that. That's pretty good. So yeah, now that that's out of the way, time for the main topic of the video. What is my predictions for the 2020 elections? Now, how this is going to work is, first I'm going to make some broad predictions for the Senate and the House, and then I might make some specific predictions. Then I'll move on to the big boy presidential stage. Alright, so I know I've done a prediction video about the US Senate elections already, but obviously a decent amount has changed in between that time. So let's just go ahead and kind of make some revamped predictions. Okay, so first, there's Alabama. Alabama, there's really no change. Everybody expects it to go red. So, bye-bye Doug. Doug is just gonna win, 100%. Next is Alaska. Alaska, pretty similar. The numbers, I'm gonna have to reiterate. The numbers are probably the best I have to go off of at this point. Really, I don't live in a lot of these states, so I really don't have any, vibes. Well, I live in one of them, so I might have vibes on one. So, but yeah, Alaska is probably going to stay red at this point. Arizona, now, that one's had a lot more polls to show blue. So yeah, that one's probably going to flip, especially considering Democrats are going to be keeping a decent number of, paying attention to this seat. Arkansas, there's really only a Republican and a Libertarian running, so yeah, safe red. Colorado, well, similarly, it's very flippable and Democrats have been paying a lot of attention to it, so yeah, flip. Delaware, it's a safe D, all things considered. I think the first two big changes are with Georgia. The two Georgia seats, they've tightened now to the point where literally most pollsters now rank both seats as toss-up. Now, I'll be honest, I think I originally predicted two safe Republican seats, but now my feeling, at most I have is a feeling that in the future, one of these two is going to flip and the other one isn't. I don't know which is which. My guess is that we might have Warnock in the Senate and also Perdue. That's just my prediction. I'm going to predict maybe, but even I'll have to admit that Perdue's seat is a toss-up. I could see Ossoff maybe pulling a slim victory, but, Perdue, he might have a chance. Loeffler? Nah. Especially considering, he's literally, I think maybe people have been saying, maybe it's because of the Republican split between Collins and Loeffler, but there's been a similar Democrat split, I guess. And many people have been trying to get Matt Lieberman to suspend his bid. Even now, and it's dude, it's literally too late for him to suspend his bid to make a big difference. So yeah, by the end of the day, Georgia's going to have one blue, one red. Idaho, again, safe red. Illinois, safe blue. Iowa, I'll be honest, I'm not believing in toss-up. I don't know. I will be safe and just say, I don't know. I could see it sticking red, but the Democratic opponent has, again, DSCC, a lot of money, a lot of power. Big bang. Kansas, yeah, polling mostly stays red, so I think I might have to keep it red. Kentucky, safe red. Louisiana, safe red. Maine, that's a flipper, 100%. Suzanne, there's no way. This Amy Coney Barrett thing, nah. They ain't working. You're leaving. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Susan. Nothing of value was lost. Massachusetts, Markey Mentum. Markey Stan. Michigan and Minnesota. A lot of people have actually been saying that these two could potentially flip, but I don't really see it. Maybe Peters will have a slim victory. Peters' victory is expected to be so slim that Bernie literally had to swoop in and be like, I endorse Gary Peters. Seriously, out of all the incumbents, you choose Gary Peters? Alright. Tina Smith is similar. She may have a closer race than most others, but I don't really think that there's going to be she won't flip. Mississippi is going to stay red with Cindy Smith. Montana? I'm going to give it a toss-up. It could be Daines, it could be Bullock. I don't know. Nebraska? I'm going to say safe R, 100%. New Hampshire, safe D. New Jersey, safe D. New Mexico, safe D. North Carolina, I'm going to give it blue. Even though Cal kind of screwed that up in the last minute, Tillis is just probably too weak. Oklahoma, safe R. Oregon, Rhode Island, safe blue. South Carolina, I'm going to lean in Lindsey Graham's direction, but Jamie, he hasn't been doing too bad. I was in South Carolina not that long ago, and Jamie was pulling out a decent number of ads. Maybe he went on that alone. South Dakota, safe R. Tennessee, safe R. Texas, I'm going to give it lean R. Virginia, safe blue. And West Virginia, Wyoming, safe blue. So yeah, I think Democrats may get a slim win. I didn't write down how much they win by, but it's a slim win. They'll take the Senate more likely. They only need 3 seats, and I think I gave them 3 seats. No, I gave them 4, I think, so yeah, they'll have a safe victory, I guess. So yeah, I see a blue Senate. Okay, now under the House of Representatives. I'll be honest, the House, there ain't gonna be much change. We're just gonna get a couple more blue seats, all things considered. Maybe it'll be a thing where it's the Democrats take 2 seats in North Carolina and they lose Max Rose and Colin Peterson. So we're not going to be seeing too much change. We're just going to be seeing some of the seats flip around. That is, of course, unless we get some progressive wins. Now, here's the thing. I do predict that it isn't just going to be Jamal, Corey, Mondaire, Teresa, and Mary Newman, who are going to join us in the 117th Congress to build a better progressive momentum. We're going to get at least one or two more, but I don't know who. Honestly, Donna and Mom, Mike Segal, honestly, yeah, I'm just going to say one of those two, or both of those two. They're probably the most likely to flip for progressives, all things considered. Maybe we'll get another one like J.D. Schulten or something. But yeah, we ain't going to be seeing much difference in the House. We're just going to be seeing the blue grow a little bigger and the red grow a little smaller. Okay, so now with all that out of the way, let's move on to the presidential predictions. Similarly, I only have the polls to go off of, and I'll be honest, I kind of base it more on the most recent polls, because I would assume the more recent polls have the most accurate numbers for a number of reasons. Like, for example, in January, you're not going to have a exactly accurate prediction as in, like, October. The election is literally, like, a couple days away, so now most of the people who have already voted can safely say, yeah, I voted for blank. Now, here's the thing. I didn't go in expecting, like, oh, Joe Biden would win a landslide. But he simply just put in the states that I felt that he was going to win in the Electoral College. And then, when push came to shove, it showed a decent victory for Joe Biden. So yeah, again, this is all 100% based on polls alone. Basically, the polls, and expecting there not to be this sort of big switch or this Marion Butler effect. Not Marion Butler effect. What is it called? The Marion effect? Basically the Bradley effect, I think it's called. Basically where a bunch of people say like, oh, they're going to vote for blank instead of blank. They also call like the shy Tory thing, where people are less likely to say they're going to vote a Republican just because, they're afraid of being judged or something. I don't really think that's a factor at this point anymore. Especially considering the last election was literally like, oh, you're going to get the first woman president. So a lot more people would probably be like more shy and saying, oh, I'll vote for the woman. And, I think I might get into that when I reveal the true thing. No, I guess I'll do it now. Let's just be honest. For a lot of factors, like, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, don't trust the polls, don't trust the polls, don't trust the polls. But yeah, the polls are all I really have. I don't live in all these states, so I can't really see firsthand how these states are going to go. So, yeah, I really don't see just a lot of things at this point. I can only give a first-hand experience in the state that I live in, and it will give a good indication on my inevitable results. Okay, so yeah, here are my predictions. Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Hawaii, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, D.C., Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Minnesota, Michigan, and Wisconsin will all go to Biden. Okay, that may be a big conundrum for a lot of you, but let's just explain it point blank. For many reasons, I just see it this way, and I'll give my reasons. First, I'll start off with North Carolina. Why does North Carolina in particular flip? Because I live in North Carolina and I see how things are. In 2016, I saw literally no Hillary things at all. No Hillary things. And during the primary, I didn't see any Biden crap either. I saw a lot of Bernie crap in the primary. I saw a lot of Yang crap in the primary. I saw some Tulsi crap. But I didn't see any Biden crap until the election went to the general, especially in recent days, but seeing a lot of Biden stuff. People are ready for Biden, not because they like Biden, but because they don't like Trump. North Carolina is not really a fan of Trump at this point. I've even seen a lot of people who are literally explicitly for Trump. They might even hate Biden's guts, but they just want Trump gone. I mean, granted, Trump still has his base. He still has his fans. But I've been seeing a lot more Biden stuff. And that ties into my point with a lot of these other states. Why is Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin so keen on voting for Biden when Hillary Clinton was similar to Biden in a lot of ways? Many reasons. You know, they've actually, they gave Trump a chance. They let him see, how are you going to govern? The way he governed did not give them what they want. There's still shitty trade deals. They just happen to have slightly different trade deals than the ones that Hillary Clinton would have given. And, as I shown before, there was no Hillary crap in NC, but there's a lot of Biden crap in NC now, because Biden is just not as bad as Hillary. Let's just be clear. Hillary was annoying. Hillary was a robotic politician. Biden at least has sort of a folksy hero type personality. He seems like an actual person. And again, he's just not as bad as Trump when you look at him. You might find different answers if you're trying to dig too deep, but on the surface, they don't care. You're getting a lot of people that just genuinely don't care about the deep level crap anymore. They just want Trump gone because, Biden, he might have some secrets hidden in his closet, but Trump wears his secrets on his sleeve. There is one state I should mention. Texas. Because I'll be honest, being just how things are, I would have just given Texas to Trump. Deep red state. Texas is the Republican stereotype. So, just give it to Trump. But here's the thing. I'm seeing a lot of polls for the presidential race that aren't exactly that. They aren't exactly that. The polls for the presidential race have been slightly more mixed. I've been seeing some, I don't know. At this point, I legitimately, as much as weird as it is, I'm officially stating Texas is a toss-up. I don't know. I honestly don't know where it's gonna lie. I might give it slightly lean in the GOP direction, but honestly, it could flip. It honestly could. I will say this to Democrats 100%. They'll look at this victory and they'll try to do whatever they can to use this as proof. I know it didn't work 1 million times, but it worked this one time, so that must mean we need to do this forever and ever. I really don't think this is going to work in the future. This is going to be the one. I guarantee you, I'm just going to say it. As much as you might think I might be, too overconfident, I think this may be the one. The election that 100% makes it so that, this is going to be the last blue no matter who election. A lot of people have already stated this. This is going to be the last blue no matter who election. They're going to try and get Trump into the White House, and then they're going to build a People's Party and whatever. And then, we'll see what happens next. So yeah, honestly, that's all I'm really going to say. Go vote if you haven't. And, we'll see what happens next. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the future video comes out. And if you're interested in more content from me, you can go to my website, follow me on Facebook or Twitter, join my Discord, or check out my articles on the Independent Political Report.